Hi everyone, I'm Sunny, and today's pick a card reading is a celebrity crush reading. You guys really enjoy these, so I hope you guys enjoy this one too. It's going to be about how your celebrity crush would, well, more or less how their family would meet you and more or less like how they would treat you. This doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in a romantic sense. It can also be like in a friendship way or like a coworker way. I'm just going to leave it pretty broad. So I have 3 piles you guys can choose from left to right. I have pile 1, 2, and 3. If you need more time, pause the video. Otherwise, stop. Wait, not go to the timestamp in the description. I'm sorry. So I will start with pile number 1. You guys have the Queen of Wands upright. I should just move these. I always sometimes forget these. Okay, so next is the 3 of Cups upright, followed by the 2 of Swords reversed, followed by the 9 of Pentacles upright. I'm like, followed by. And then your last card is the Magician upright. So pile number 1, how would a meeting with your celebrity crush's family would go? More or less. So like, I know it's like it would be several people, but within the people that they consider family, right? Like the people that are closest to them, maybe it's just their household family, but more or less, I feel that there's possibly more women in their family, whether you're thinking about a specific celebrity that's a female or a male, but it's more like it feels more like a matriarchal type of family, because one, there can be more women, and so women have the last say, or it's just the culture that they're used to having women be the head of the household, right? So maybe overall you might be meeting more women in their family, particularly very educated, well-rounded women. I think that with the Queen of Wands, maybe it's just specifically, for example, like the mother or the sister that's prevalent in their life. So this matriarchal role is someone that's very very smart and educated. Doesn't always have to mean that they have to be educated because they went to school. They're just educated because they could have a lot of experiences in life, for example. So that's one way to look at it. Or there's someone that has a lot of wisdom to share, possibly because they just really like to read about maybe like things that they read on the newspaper or things they see on like the computer, because not everyone's out of touch with technology. But there's someone that's well versed, someone that's incredibly headstrong. I think they could be maybe a little bit more opinionated, but that doesn't mean they're gonna be in your face like rude. It's just something that you might notice, that you might have to impress that strong female person in their life, which is more than likely maybe their grandmother, their mother, their sister, something around those lines, where it's like they have a lot of trust in that person. Therefore, maybe that person is one of the reasons why they pursue what they're doing, or there's someone that cared for them. So their word means a lot to your celebrity crush. It's like, if you don't leave a good impression on them, it might not work out great, and like having that connection, like a lifelong connection with them. But do keep that in mind. There's someone that possibly, I think their family would sorry, that came out wrong. will open open you with no will welcome you with open arms. I'm sorry. That was not a very good worded sentence, but I do think they would open their arms to anybody who they're not, I don't want to say parental, but like whoever your celebrity crush meets or brings into the home, because they know that they have a good sense of judgment, and they trust their character. So they're like, well, in this point in time, if they're bringing somebody, it's because they mean something to them, so let's treat them well. So I do think that if they do invite you over, it's going to be in a party setting or a celebratory type of event, where it's like, oh, they're celebrating their new movie, for example, or they're celebrating their new album that's coming out, and so it's like a welcome party or celebratory kind of party, or a birthday party, but it just feels like you're gonna have a good time with them. The people that do matter to them and their family are people that are very lighthearted, and I feel like they like to joke around a lot. With the wands and the cups, I feel it's like it doesn't have to be like, how can I? Some people might, but they might joke around a little more crudely, but or like a little bit more. I don't want to say perverted, but it's one of those, maybe they're like dirty jokes or like double meaning jokes that that sometimes that are not inappropriate, but that kind of make you laugh. Kind of like stuff like saying like that's what she said or something like that. Stuff like that. So I do think with this Two of Swords also reversed, I feel that maybe this person, your celebrity crush, or I feel like it's possibly your celebrity crush that might have not like if they do bring you over, they might have kind of thought about it for a while because they know that it implies a lot of responsibility to let you into their inner world. So they're like, well, if I bring this person into my inner world, can I trust them? Can I trust that they're not going to divulge my personal life or my secrets or like their own secrets, because the people in their life didn't sign up for like fame and popularity like they did. So it's a very interesting dynamic of how they might have thought about this for quite some time, or like stuff like that, where it's like they have to kind of think carefully and pick a wise choice about whether they want people around them or whether they just kind of keep them at an arm's length when it comes to people that matter to them. So I also think with the Nine of Pentacles and the Magician, I feel like overall the energy of how you could meet them with the other cards, it just feels like an outdoor, I just feel it's like an outdoor event. You guys meet up in like maybe like a camping trip or hiking, and you guys just have a picnic, or maybe you guys just meet up outside like in a wedding venue, and it could be like an outdoor kind of place. But overall I do feel that you guys would be enjoying yourselves. Like it does feel like it's like bougie, lavish kind of things, where it's like it doesn't have to be extremely lavish, but more so that they're not inverting, I forgot the word I was trying to say, but it's like an I word. Investing in quality food that they want to share with people that they put a lot of work in. Maybe they've been cooking for days and they finally have that get together with the family, and that's how they bond over food and stuff. So they bond over those things that are materialistic maybe, but still kind of low key and practical, but still it feels like they put a lot of work into that. They're very prideful in that sense of what they do with the people that they love. So they cherish those things, and I think you might enjoy that. Those family values are very important for them, and I think you might try to impress them in some way or form where it's like you could bring something to them, and they might be like, oh, okay, cool. Like you bought or brought something that's near and dear to you, or like near to your culture, for example. That's like, oh, like look, I brought this bottle of wine, or this, I don't know, cheese, or something that's like small, decently, like it's not seen as like, I'm not trying to say that it's cheap or expensive, but it's seen as a comforting item for them. So kind of figure that out of what it could actually mean to you, in that sense of like, look, I'm trying to, bring a present, because that's like, you don't want to be the person that just kind of leeches off them, you don't want to give off those vibes. So I think that's very important for you too, where it's like, I want to show them that I care, but I don't want to be too is it inopportune? Is that the right phrase I'm trying to say? But you don't want to come empty-handed, but you also don't want to go above and beyond to make it seem like you are like an overachiever. You kind of want to be comfortable like they are comfortable. So meeting them might overall be welcoming and might be good, but I think they might be hesitant only for certain things. Maybe they might just watch out, and early on they might just watch out with what they say and just kind of keep safe conversations, like not going too personal with details or how they grew up or stuff like that. Or it's like they don't want to divulge too much, but they want to make you feel like you're loved and like welcome. So like those emotions are important. Happy emotions are important for them. So they want to have a good time, and you want to have a good time, and they are welcoming, well, I don't even think I'm saying that right, welcoming in that sense. But it might feel a little bit weird at first, because you might feel those strong presences of the women in their life, making sure that they observe you and judge you carefully to make sure that you're not going to overstep the safety boundaries that they have, including the person you're thinking about with your celebrity crush. So I hope you enjoyed that pile number 1. That's what I have for you. Next is pile number 2. You guys have the Ace of Wands upright, the Page of Cups reversed, 3 of Wands upright, followed by Temperance reversed, and then your last card is the 7 of Pentacles reversed. There. I think all the cards. Nope, not. Sorry, let me just center them a bit. Oops. Okay, so pile number 2, the meeting between the family of your celebrity crush and you would go as follows. So I think overall, okay, so either they're older people that you end up meeting overall for the most part. That's important to them when it comes to their family, what they consider family. That could be like blood family or just friendship family that they've kind of built. I feel that sometimes it can be based on friendships where it's like they might have not had always the greatest childhood memories, so they build a family as they kind of go about their ways, right? So it could be that you meet that type of family or that blood family that's actually like older and wiser, but I do feel they might be a little bit more serious, or it could be they can all be a lot more women. So whether it's a female crush that you have or a male crush, I do think for the most part they value a lot of the opinions of the people that are around them that are older women or just older people, and they could kind of be mixed of like 50-50 of like men and women. So just give me a break so I can drink some water. I do think they might be reserved when it comes to what they want to tell you. I think they might, like, example, it's not that they want to be passive aggressive when they meet you. They're not, I don't think they want to be like snobby, like callous and stuff, but I think that because of who the person is that is your celebrity crush, they have to be a lot more picky and choosy when it comes to who they like extend their heart to, like their emotions. Like they don't want to see the soft side of the, not the union, but like, how do I say, they don't easily want to allow people to see the softer side that they share, because it can be taken in against them and taken to advantage of them. Like maybe they might have to take care of kids, for example, or because they have a family and they're divorced, or maybe they have to take care of elderly people, and that people might intrude on the people that need special care, like on like showing up in places they're not supposed to, like example like hospital places or nursing places, those types of scenarios. So they're a little more cautious. Doesn't mean that they're going to be like this all the time, but if you do meet them for more than a few meetings with them, they might eventually be a little bit more playful, but they might not show you this right away. They might not be open about what goes on in their lives. With the 3 of Wands upright, I feel that maybe your celebrity crush might be scoping out. I think they're the person that might scope out like the big picture of like, was this the smart thing to do? Was it good to bring like this person around? Like I feel like maybe at first they might be more comfortable with like a friendship kind of thing, if that's what you're thinking about. It could be a coworker scenario too, but I think they're just kind of testing the waters. It feels like they're kind of testing the waters as to see not how much they allow you in, but more so to how you react. I think they're testing lightly to see if they're okay to be fun and playful with you and just like sharing like the good times with their family, but they're more than likely just kind of observing you, maybe at a distance. Like example, if you guys are having like spending time, like holiday time with them, for example, if you spend the holidays with them, they might keep themselves busy purposely, so they kind of observe you how you interact with their family to see if you're like being rude, or if you're just kind of like distant or standoffish, or like just not very good with like conversations, or not very good with like, or not very comfortable to begin with. Sometimes people don't always get comfortable with conversing I'm sorry, conversating with people that are strangers. They kind of want to see, not that they want to test your social skills, but they want to see if you can hang. If you get what I'm trying to say. So the Temperance card reversed, I feel that maybe also, I wonder if they're trying to see if like if you, I just feel like maybe if there's drinking involved in this, like their friends and family kind of just like to drink, or it's like a celebratory time. They want to see like whether you know how to handle yourself, or like be completely obnoxious, or how much you would moderate yourself with how much fun you can be, to how strict I don't know, there's something about moderation here that's important to them, or that they're observing to see if they have to kind of monitor what's going on. So maybe they're I can't say this word, monitoring conversations to see, like, if you're trying to like, is it called fish when you're fishing? Yeah. When you're fishing for information, they're kind of wanting to see, like, does this person after a few drinks, like, are their true intentions coming out? Like, are they trying to be like, blah, 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 sorry. Are they trying to fish for information that's private? Like, example, like finding out if they dated this person, or if that's just a rumor, or like their history of like, you know, exes and stuff like that, or if they got engaged, or who they're dating. Like, they want to know that you're not just gonna be like one of those people that is just trying to figure out what they do off, I don't want to say offline, but off the like media, public space. Nine of Pentacles, it could also be that you're kind of waiting for a long time to figure out whether, or someone's trying to figure someone out, possibly you, possibly them, maybe both. But I do think that even from their family, they're trying to see what's going to come about this connection. Like, is this a friendship? Is this someone that you're interested in? Or is this just like a colleague from work that they're like, well, I'm just being polite. Like, are we supposed to kind of just follow along? Like, they're trying to also figure out whether you fall into what category. I think they're trying to decipher what category you would fall into, mostly because they want to treat you accordingly. Like, I think they also have, I think that their family, someone that respects them a lot in that sense, where like, I think it's not that this person's like the head of the household, but I think the family respects this person a lot because they've had to accomplish a lot, so they're more mindful. That's the proper word. I think they're more mindful of this person's personal space, or mindful about what they do, that they're like, is this kind of prying, like, is this saying too much about us, like, and you kind of wanted to keep that a secret. So it feels like that, where it's like, you guys seem to have a good time and stuff, but they're also kind of wondering, even with this Ace of Wands, like, are they trying to start something, like is it a romance, is it a creative project, like a colleague thing, or just a friendship, but you're trying to have a good time, but you seem to, it just feels like this vibe is like the family's just trying to read through the scenario as best as they can. But overall, if it's more than one meeting, because I think that's a possibility too, that you guys end up meeting more than once in different scenarios, and maybe not always the same people, just maybe one or two people at a time. It feels like they seem very not restricted, but like they're more withdrawn when it comes to what they say and what they do, and kind of just look at the person to see like how much is okay to say, how much is not okay. They have to be, but that doesn't mean they are all the time. It just means that you might have to work with them for a while to see who they really are, and you're not going to get to the bottom of how tight the union between them is. So if you want to be part of that family, or like part of the tight-knit group, you're just going to have to put in the effort, like gaining their trust. A lot of it has to do from what your intentions are, and it's really from the bottom of your heart. and you're just not trying to be like, you're not trying to gain any fame or something out of them. It feels like it has a lot to do with that. They want to know that your intentions are pure. Even with this temperance reverse, it's like, they're kind of playing maybe devil's advocate even at that from time to time, but I do think they're just kind of scoping around, mostly allowing the person that your celebrity crush to kind of not pick up the slack, but more or less do the work. That's more or less what it gives. It's like they're going to have to do the work. Every now and then you might see that there's like impatience, or you might get impatient, like, where do I stand with this person, or is it just me, or am I putting too much effort into this, and like I'm not getting anything. But it feels like you really kind of have to stick it through with them, to see if everybody kind of likes you. But a lot of it has to do with the person that you're thinking about, your celebrity crush, is the main source of who it just feels like they're basically the last person to say yes, they can come in, no, they can't come in. So, that's more or less how they would treat you. I think they would treat you politely, maybe at arm's length at first, but eventually it might get closer, or it might be a lot more comfortable to talk to you and joke with you and be a little bit more playful with you. But that might have to do with, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you would have to put in a lot of effort, show a lot of gestures, maybe be more considerate, doing tasks that may be annoying for them. Like, I know it sounds funny, but maybe like cutting the grass, or it just feels like they're really like down to earth. So it's like maybe helping them out with their groceries, or doing stuff, running errands for them like that with them. That doesn't mean for them, but stuff like that. And then they kind of slowly kind of bring you in closer and closer, and that's how you'll get their not confidence, trust. And you'll feel a little bit more confident into where you stand with them. But for the most part, they seem to be very controlling about what they do and share overall. Restrictive, but not entirely. It's more so for their safety net, So I hope you enjoyed that pile number 2. Next is pile number 3. You guys have the world reversed, so I'm just going to cover that. I'm trying to cover certain cards more because I'm just trying not to get not restricted, but like the recommendation stuff. The world card reversed. Being more conscientious of the cards, even though I don't think there's anything wrong with the art. 4 of Wands reversed. Followed by the Justice upright. The next card is the 8 of Pentacles reversed. And then your last card is the Knight of Pentacles upright. So just give me a moment so I can take a sip of water. Pile number 3. Okay, meeting the family of your celebrity crush would be interesting, because I feel like you might feel a little bit out of place every now and then, depending on not who. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about more than one person here, but sometimes, depending on who you talk to, you might feel a little bit out of place, because you might feel that they're very worldly people. They're people who are very diverse in conversations, or incredibly smart and knowledgeable, but they might either downplay it, or they might adjust their conversations because they don't want to seem like they're out of touch with you, because you might not be exactly at the same place as them. Like, they might have had a lot more opportunities to travel, they might have had a lot more opportunities to study things and interact with people that are from all walks of life in different areas, but more than likely it's more affluent people. But they also want to feel like you're able to reach them, so they might every now and then make you feel like, not purposely, but you might feel that slight difference, and you might have to kind of, I think that's more like a personal thing for you, where it's like you're trying to be more not knowledgeable. It just feels like, I think of like the House Bunny movie, where she really likes the smart guy, I forgot the name, but Anna Faris is trying her best to be incredibly smart, but it's not her thing, so she kind of messes up a lot. So it could be one of those scenarios too, where you're like, not that you're trying to impress them, but you're trying to kind of connect with them in a different way that you're not used to, and that might not always work in your favor. It might make you be a little bit silly. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think they're gonna judge you too harshly for that. They might just try to, see you at your level, but you're still gonna try to do some effort in it. But that does depend on the person. Likely it might be for someone that's older, like an older female or just an older male. For the next card, you guys have the Four of Wands. I think that the family would be very different from what you're used to. I think maybe this family might be very Aquarian in the sense where it's like very different people have entered the life of them, their life, in the sense where you have people all walks of life or different ethnicities, cultures, belief systems, opinions. Even at that, doesn't have to be super drastic, but chaotic, big and chaotic. So I feel like they've had to adjust overall. So they might have to end up playing it safe for the most part as a family unit to like not overstep each other's toes, because I don't think they necessarily agree with everything they've done or everything that they believe in or just do when it comes to their actions. So I do think it's a lifestyle that they've had where they had to adjust and roll with the punches that life has given them, because they have to adjust to different lifestyles and homes. Even at that, they might have just moved frequent homes even at that, but I do think they had to be on the move or on the go, or just they had to constantly be adjusting themselves to people, because they had many different things that they had to consider if they wanted to be a family. So that family is very different, or even they could just have like people that they've adopted, for example, or people who kind of ingress in their family unit, like neighbors and stuff like that. So they might not necessarily be always by blood, but they're a tight unit nonetheless, right? So that could be some issues that you could see, or some things that might pop up. So you ingressing into their family unit is not really that big of a deal, but you might feel like you have to accommodate yourself to them in that aspect where you're bringing your own sauce of different, and there's nothing wrong with that because they already have their own different sauces. It's just you're like not used to that type of environment. But likely it could also be that they just have to move around a lot, maybe even countries. So they are very incredibly diverse and full of wisdom when it comes to being cultural. It's not cultural. Cult, right? Culty people. Not like belief system, but I'm trying to say the word and I might be saying it wrong, but it's really late at night. I'm sorry. So the next one is how, more or less the middle card is how I put it. I didn't even explain that in the beginning, but how your celebrity crush might feel meeting their family. So with the Justice card upright, I feel like they're trying to be fair and considerate with you and accommodating themselves to you, but they're also considering their family. That's just as important. So it's like they're kind of playing like one for you, one for them, one for me, one for you, one for them, one for me. So it's like they're not trying to hog conversations. They're trying to be, respectful of everyone and kind of being a team player. It just feels like they're very like, of course it's like the Libra energy, where they're trying to be accommodating to everybody and being passive, but not being overly like aggressive and overly like not saying that they're opinionated, but like they don't want to overstep people's feet, right? I don't think that's the proper word, but they don't want to step on people's toes, so they're just trying to keep a light-hearted conversation going with them and between you and their family. So you might notice that overall, if you meet their family, I feel that it would be, I think it might be inside like a home, a house, apartment, building, maybe where they work at, but I don't feel necessarily it's going to be in a place where they feel that they, like it would be outside. I really doubt it, but it feels more like it's like an inside place, so you might feel a lot is going on. So do keep that in mind with the Eight of Pentacles reversed. How can I say? They might give you a hard time to really get to know them, or you might have to invest yourself a lot, and like they might. And it's not that they want to overwork you in that sense of like think hard and do stuff, but it just feels like they want to know that you can do your homework, sorry, and know that they don't like people to just come in just because it's like they're gonna be polite with you, but they also know that if you want to establish like a more emotional connection, you might have a harder time because it's not their thing, but they are very accepting of people. But they do know that they prefer connections that are long lasting, so short connections are not really their thing, but they don't mind it, like meeting people and stuff and being polite. But I do think overall that if you stick around, they might be more comfortable to be a little bit more lighthearted with you. Yeah, I think these are, it just feels like they might be a little bit more serious. Their family's a little bit more serious than the other ones, but I do think they mean well. It's just that they might be a little bit more dry, might be a little bit more curt and brief with their responses, so do keep that in mind, don't take that personal. But they're fair, they're reasonable responses, but they might not make you feel super welcome because you're not going to be super emotional or super like lovey-dovey in that sense. Like they're not very like hugging type families. They're just families that are more old school, where they're like, how can I say? As long as your necessities and basic necessities are met, I mean, it's done, right? They did their job. So the Knight of Pentacles as well, it just feels like you're going to try to present yourself with your best foot forward. They'll treat you with respect, but I just feel that it might kind of be like you still need to put in your, what are they, like your hard work. I had a saying, but I forgot. But basically, you're going to have to put in some more effort into kind of like conversating with them, doing things that they want to do or things that they enjoy doing. Like, I feel it's more laborious things, like, example, gardening, or it feels like they support the celebrity crush you're thinking about. They support them by going to, their work places, and they show up and they're there for the support and stuff like that, or they buy products and merchandise and tickets and stuff like that. It feels like they really support them. They like their posts even and online. It just feels like they invest in the person that you're thinking about. So it's interesting. It's like they're really a tight unit, but they know that they I mean, I'm not trying to say it's their cash cow, but they do see a lot of nice things. If they've been, not that they take advantage of them, but more so they understand why it's important for them to support the celebrity crush you're thinking about, because they've been able to do a lot of things they might have taken a long time to do on their own, because it was their hard-earned work of your celebrity crush that got them to maybe travel or enjoy nice resorts or enjoy nice hotels or homes, cars, just nice things that they can enjoy on the day-to-day, because they decided to be kind, give it back forth to them, because they feel like they needed to support them back, because they've always been supported by their family, so it's a give and take. It's very it's a very Saturnian family, I feel, that you're interested in with this family, with this celebrity crush, but I do feel like they mean well. It's just that they might not be too emotional, and that's not bad, but it feels like that, that's more or less how they would treat you and how they would go about if you met the celebrity crush's family. That it might be a little bit more work, but I think that you come from a very different lifestyle and background, so it might kind of take you a little bit back. But I just feel like it's more traditional. There's a lot of traditional values in here, so they respect that. Your celebrity crush tries to respect those things they grew up with, so that's what I have for you, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed that. So thank you so much if you enjoyed this till the very end and you watched. Please subscribe and like and comment and share. It helps me out with my channel, and I'll see you soon. So bye, everybody.